Welcome to part 2 of my recent video game pickups. As you can see, I reorganized some stuff here, so hopefully I'll keep moving along. If you guys haven't seen part 1, you can easily check for it in the description box to this video. I'll leave a link to part 1 and you can see from where I've gone. So where we left off was I'm continuing on obviously with the last 6 months of stuff that I could dredge up anyway. And I haven't really touched upon one store that I usually head to that a lot of the videos on my channel are dedicated to, and that would be my local FYE Games, which has a ton of large retro collection store. You know, they get a lot of trade-ins and such, and one of the only stores in my area that sells, you know, pre-PS2 era, we'll say, GameCube, etc. games and hardware, which is a very refreshing. So I went down there, and a lot of times they have these great deals of buy 2 get 1 free, or 75% off, and etc., whatever it may be. So I went down there this time, and I found a soundtrack to The Bouncer, which is a Square Enix PS2 title. And, you know, it depends on what your outlook at the game is. You may have hated it, you may have loved it, or it may have been in between. But for $2.50 for a brand new sealed soundtrack, I could not pass up that opportunity. Also now, where I'm getting into the better selection here, is that many of you guys might remember for Street Fighter's 15th anniversary, they made these custom controllers, like with Udon artwork. I think it was through Nubitech. I have the Ryu one, which is always in the backdrop, but I got the Ken one. See it right there. It's perfect condition, as all the inserts, etc. It is technically used, but I was able to get this for $4.49. And the final mother load of my FYE Games jaunt this time around was a complete in box original Game Boy with you know, Tetris, all the inserts, link cables, etc. The box is in alright shape, I guess. I mean, it's not torn to bits or anything. It's not really that scuffed up, except for the back. It has a lot of pen markings on there. But I did get this for a very reasonable price, in my opinion, especially since it was complete. And now I guess I'll get into bouncing around a little bit between the actual games themselves, and then after that I'll move into some other collectibles, which I always leave for the end of these videos for those who've been watching for a long time. So first up and foremost of the, I guess we'll say, this generation of games, since I'm kind of more of a retro guy, I have not bought many new games at all, new releases, we'll say. I've been kind of focusing my collecting on retro titles and just actual video game collectibles themselves. When it comes to the new games, though, it's not that I'm leaving them out or anything. It's honestly, with my work schedule and such these days, like this Christmas season, I'm barely buying anything, and it's just I don't have the time to delve into, like, say, a new RPG or anything like that. Like a shooter or platformer is different. But now, with that being said, don't expect like a gush of games here for like my 360 and Wii and DS and whatnot. So first up would be Catherine, and I got this for the 360 since I don't own a PS3. I'm not hating on any Sony people out there, I just don't own one yet. And I got the limited edition box set, which I'm sure there's you know, at least a dozen videos of what's in the contents here. As for Catherine the game, what are my thoughts on it? Well, as most of you know by now, it's actually a puzzler with a very interesting story that goes along with it. It's not my type of puzzler, and at points I've gotten very, very frustrated with the game. I have not finished it, and I've been kind of going to its spurts and then completing the story, and then, you know, get into a puzzle and just ripping my hair out and just putting it down for a couple weeks, and then going back to it and finding that I could solve the puzzle, and then the next one it's the same difference. But as many of you played this game, you probably understand what I'm talking about. Next up on my 3DS, I did pick up Ocarina of Time. And I gotta say, my 3DS not getting much love lately. But besides Ocarina of Time, this is the last game I actually picked up for the system itself. But what are you gonna do? It's I'm loving it. You know, I've beat a couple of the first few dungeons already, and I put it up when I get the chance to. But very nostalgic, one of my favorite games of all time. As for the 3D aspect of it, I haven't really turned the 3D on too much, but it doesn't really matter to me, you know. It's just fun reliving this classic. Now for the Nintendo DS, I've picked up Exceed Soloto Robo. Sorry about that little tongue twister there for a second. It's the pseudo sequel to Tail Concerto, which was on the PS1. I've not had a chance to open this up yet, but I'm very, very anxious to, because I obviously love Exceed's most of their publishing games, and I couldn't pass up the niche and charm of what I've seen in the trailers for this game. Now, hopping back to the PS2, would be a couple imports I got off a friend of mine. Would be the Panzer Dragoon Sega Ages, the Japanese PlayStation 2, and also Metal Slug 3D. And next up for the import Sega Saturn, Japanese Sega Saturn, excuse me, would be Paradise Forever With Me, which is basically a shoot 'em up with cute graphics. And then the Paradise Deluxe Pack. I also like to touch upon a couple of movies and such that I've picked up as well. So to start off would be one of my favorite Sergio Leone flicks that does not have Clint Eastwood, Once Upon a Time in the West. Anybody who enjoys this genre that should highly check this out. Really, it's an amazing story, a lot of amazing shots, and for those of you who are on the fence with Westerns, this is not a boring one, is the best way I could put it. I'm not into the genre unless it really has Clint Eastwood or Sergio Leone behind it. And some of the newer ones that were put out were pretty good, like the remake of True Grit one I enjoyed. But yeah, it's definitely a must-see classic. Next up would be the collector's edition of Scarface on Blu-ray, one of my favorite films from the 80s. I can't stress enough how much I enjoyed this movie as a child, in my teenage years, and in my adult life. I must have seen this movie at least 3-4 dozen times. But no, I did not go out with the Humidor limited edition one, which it's limited. If nobody heard of it, it's limited to 1,000 pieces. It's this with a custom-made Humidor, and on Amazon you could have gotten it on sale for $700. Yeah, I passed on that. Next up would be Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. Haven't had a chance to watch this yet. I've actually bought this a while ago, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet. And following up on the 360 would be Nier, which I have not been able to pick up, get into play yet. This was on the another FYE Games deal I got brand new for $10. And then for the 360 would be Child of Eden. I do not play with the Kinect, I play with the controller. I love the soundtrack to it. It takes a little bit of getting used to. It's not really my type of game. It's a pseudo to Rez, and I enjoyed Rez somewhat, but I wasn't die-hard Rez. I'm not die-hard Child of Eden, but I'm not saying it's a bad game at all. No way in shape or form. It's enjoyable. It's just that you got to get used to the mechanics of it. It's very short too. But as you can see, I'm almost wrapped up here, which should be a good thing, and bless you if you've stuck with me this far. But I wanted to finish up here with two of the main things that I currently collect for within the video game hobby. Are collectibles for Lunar the Silver Star, which is an RPG, and Working Designs, which is a North American publishing company. And so I just wanted to show off a couple of pieces of merchandise that I was able to acquire. First up would be I was able to get a hold of 4, these were Japanese Lunar Silver Star story phone cards that were put out in the 90s. And you can see they have Luna and Mia on these ones. And I haven't gotten the whole set yet, but hopefully one day I'll be able to complete it. They were actually thrown in as a surprise through an auction I won a few months ago on the next 2 pieces I'm going to show off. And those 2 pieces would be Lunar Silver Star Story keychains. So you see there's one of Luna right there, and Alex with Null on his shoulder. And the seller actually was didn't ship them, and when I sent her a question saying, just wondering what the status was, they apologized and gave a reason, which I'm not going to say, but they gave it a very reason, and I didn't mind that, as long as they were honest, and they told me they shipped them, and they were just about a week late, and they threw in the phone cards as a bonus, which I thought was very nice of them, because normally I don't see that kind of stuff when I do eBay work. But so at the very end here, now I'm moving on to the Working Designs merch, and I want to thank a nice little story here. a man by the name of Jeff, who is a subscriber to this channel. He's here on YouTube, but he does not put up videos. And Jeff actually sent me an email with this amazing story, and I was able to validate some of the stuff too. So a lot of people may question, well, how did you believe him and stuff, and we'll get to that. Well, he came across Victor Ireland, who was the president and CEO of Working Designs, and this was, I'm going to say, about 1.5 years ago. And many people out there that collect Working Design stuff know that Victor Ireland had an eBay store. So he bought something through Victor Ireland's eBay store, and when he realized it was really Victor Ireland, he then made a side deal and purchased a bunch of products and sealed games and stuff, signed memorabilia and things like that. Now, those Working Design collectors like myself know that Victor Ireland was terrible with shipping his goods, especially through his eBay store. And at times he was no problem. Other times, well, this is where this story comes from. He never shipped his items. And Jeff, sent him email after email, no responses. He paid. Now, mind you, he paid for these products. And I guess he chose not to open up a case of eBay or PayPal or however he worked his side deal, because that's right, it wasn't through eBay. So however he worked his side deal. Well, a year goes by, and he gets a response email from Victor Ireland. And mind you, this is the story from what I know from him. And apologizes, and boom, sends out all the stuff he paid for, and then some. So, ironically, Jeff sent me this message, and it was sent, somehow it made it into my spam folder. So about 1.5 months later, I just checked my spam folder, because it's obviously not something I routinely do, and here's this message, and I'm like, oh my god, he's got a list of all this stuff that he got, and along with, the signed articles and whatnot. But he had all this merchandise that I do not have in my collection. So, he was very fair. We worked little schematics out of our deal, but he was very, very fair with his pricing. So, basically what I have here to show is what I purchased off of Jeff. And Jeff, if you're watching this, once again, I know I've sent you emails. I really appreciate this, because many of these items I do not own, and many of these items I have not even seen for sale for years. So to start off, I am in the process of collecting one of the merchandises that Working Designs did was pins for some of their games. I believe there's 16 in total. Mind you, the numbers just off the top of my head. But anyways, I needed 4. And he had 2 of these 4 that Victor threw in as like a so sorry compliment about taking a year to ship your stuff. One is the Thunder Force 5 pin. This is brand new and sealed still. And the other one is the Albert Odyssey pin, brand new and sealed as well. So now I just need 2 more for my set. So anybody out there who knows or has and are willing to discuss trades or wants to sell, I am looking for the Art the Lad collection pin and the Lunar 2 Eternal Blue PlayStation 1 pin. Don't confuse it with the Sega CD one. I already have that one, and the Sega CD one is actually very common, so a lot of people think that's the PlayStation 1 pin. It's not. But moving on from that, the few highlights, I guess they're all highlights here, are brand new but not sealed. Dragon Force cap. A little bent up, but it's alright. Popful mail cap. Exile 2 Wicked Phenomenon mouse pad. I've never ever even seen one of these at all for sale. None of this stuff. It's just amazing. This item, though, I have seen. And I know some people personally in real life and, obviously in online communities who own this stuff. This is how I was able to verify a lot of these things from Jeff, not just to cover my bases. But this is a sealed Lunar the Silver Star story demo disc. And it's signed by Victor Ireland. And I also got this is one of the many signed items that Jeff actually got through Victor Ireland, but I was able to obviously verify the signature with other people who own signed stuff from Victor. So next up, these last final 3 pieces would be the Lunar 2 Eternal Blue polo shirt. Sadly, I think when it got shipped, it got a little bit of a tear there, but I can sew that up, even though it's still brand new and sealed. The shrink wrap tore a little bit, but I probably can take care of that. I hope I can take care of it. But and also Arc the Lad Collection sealed polo shirt. And one of my favorite items out of the whole lot would be still sealed, brand new. Would be Lunar 2 Eternal Blue PlayStation 1 complete graphic tee, which is rolled up and sealed here, and along with the little merchandise logo there. But that's all I have for now. You know, it's been a few months since I've done these types of videos, so I tried to grab everything I could get my hands on. But hopefully you enjoyed watching, and thank you for watching, everyone. And if you'd like, off of YouTube, you can always connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, via the forums at Pete's Game Room. All those links to anything, if anybody's involved in those different types of communities, they'll be in the description box of this video. And once again, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.